I'm going to end this episode with the 10 sports commandments. I have said this before. I have not released them yet, but I am giving them to you fresh and live right now. The 10 sports commandments. You know, Biggie had a song. I'm not a drug dealer, but he had the 10 crack commandments. There was also some religious commandments you might have heard of. So the 10 sports commandments, and there's a semi-order to this, okay? So number 1 is admitting and owning your bias. This is the hardest one. Nobody can do it. I'm getting better at it. You're pretty good at it, but we can always work on it. Admitting and owning your bias. When you root for a team or a player, you're just going to see things through that realm. And I admit it. I'm like, hey, I root against Aaron Rodgers because he's a direct competitor to Wilson or Favre. Oh, well.
Yeah, I got to show you a conversation I actually just had with Eddie this morning.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not defending Russ at all. I'm talking about how to build this to run it back. And he's like, why are you defending him? I was like, I'm not defending anybody. I'm telling you how to build this team. Like I want to run it back, but it has to be built a certain way. Like that's just a given.
He's doing one of my other things. He's assuming and then attacking the assumption. We all do that. So biases, own it, understand it. Hey, I root, but like I said, if you admit your bias and then you say something, then at least people know where you stand. But if you don't admit your bias and you just say the same things, it's like, yo, is that dude feel that way for a reason? At least I'm kind of like, hey, I'm owning it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm owning it. And like 8 Mile, tell them something they don't know about me. You know, argue the facts, argue the data, argue this, like, go ahead. Okay. So that's 1. 2. So I'm going to rattle these off. Video and game film. Number 3, impact on winning.
I'm going to write them down.
You going to write them down? All right.
Yeah.
Bias, number 1. Video and game film, number 2. Impact on winning and intangibles. And bonus points if you change the game. So you got, Wilt, Jordan, Steph Curry, bonus points. 4, numbers. The right numbers. I don't give a fuck about triple doubles. Okay, give me 37, 9, and 5. Okay, over a 12, 10, and 10. And I do, unlike you, I love plus minuses on an overall basis, not like game by game. Yeah. Number 5, longevity and durability. Who would you draft? This includes injuries. So what's the scale? Anthony Davis, not durable, no longevity, unless he turns it around. LeBron James, never hurt, 19 years. 6, consistency and peak value. We talk about ceilings and floors. That makes for a good argument, obviously, for another day. 7, big game performances. That's like big games toward the end of the year, like in football. It's like
not just big games.
Right. Right. Big game performances where it's week 15 and it's for the number 1 seed or it's for your division in football or, just the biggest games that matter. And obviously in playoffs, every NBA game. Closeout games, playoff games in football, playoff games in baseball. Like, we know.
Play-in game now.
Yeah. Play-in game. The Lakers didn't even make. Embarrassing. And then 8, notice I wait till 8. Accomplishments and awards from all angles. Your blings. Because I always talk about ring privilege and bling privilege. You win a ring, you win an MVP, your shit don't stink. You get the benefit of the doubt always, and it's like, yeah, Kyrie's got that ring. Okay, you drafted him over, I don't know, Dwayne, not Dwayne Wade, bad example, but you drafted him over Charles Barkley? Of course not. Of course you're not drafting Kyrie over Charles Barkley. Like, right? Like that type of example. No, you are. He's got a ring.
Somebody would say that. Yeah, somebody
got more
would
skills.
say that.
He's got more skills.
Like a lot of people would say that, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. So, and then when I say from all angles, I mean, hey, okay, all defensive teams, cool. But, how about Nash won 2 MVPs? How many top 5 finishes did he have? 3. Other guys have been in the top 5, top 7, top 10 times. Nash has been there 3. He just happened to win 2. It's like, okay, bling again. It's like, no, he's not as good. If you're going to try to argue, like my perfect example, you want to argue Nash is better than Chris Paul? Just say he's a better shooter. He's a more courageous passer. He doesn't flop as much. He doesn't piss people off as much. And he doesn't yell at the refs as much. Like, start actually like giving me examples.
Back to rule number 1. That's your guy.
Yeah.
Your guy. So yeah, assuming perfect world, no salary cap, you're starting a team. That's the guy you're going to pick. But that's also assuming you can win with 20 different point guards then if you're playing that game.
Right. And that's my guy. But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to argue against my guy, like say what I just said. I just did it to myself. I was like, say those things. Don't say the MVPs. The MVPs is not, you're not registering with me. It's like, that's someone else's opinion. It's in one ear out the other. It's like, yeah. And did Nash deserve his MVPs? Those were Kobe and Shaq's MVPs. Okay. Now, number 9.
I hear you.
Number 9, context. Your team, your organization, your era, your conference. Does LeBron make 8 straight finals in the West? No. In my opinion, he does not. Okay? But he made them. Is Tom Brady lucky? Okay? Not only did he play in a crappy division for 2 decades, okay, where he gets those extra couple wins and gets the extra bye, right? Yo, Dan Marino left in 1997. Josh Allen pops up the moment Tom Brady. Think about it. Like literally, he was right in between the future superstar and one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Circumstance, it matters, context. And then 10, your realm. One day at the park, at Rucker Park, who you want to stick with? One day at HealthQuest. One game, one series, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Like, you have to think about that. So then bottom line is those are my 10. And then you look at it like a court case. Who's got the better argument? It helps you with tiers. And then sometimes there's no right answer. Like I can't give you with a straight face who was the more dominant basketball player relative to his era, Steph Curry or Jerry West. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but
I did think of something because you did a while back or a couple weeks ago mention that you were going to do something like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know where this falls in here to reword it better or replace. But right now versus resume or skill versus career. Like what are you actually, but you didn't get to play it out, combined with, no, I hear you. This dude was really good. And in his peak, there was even a great 2 years in there.
Yeah.
But right now, that's not him. And he could play 5 more years. So like for instance, like Russell Westbrook, we don't know what it is, but he's not what he was before. You know what I mean? So what are you now? But we're not going to dismiss that he was a great player. But there's players he used to be better than that now are over top of him. Unless something changes. But are they better than him if they both when they're both retired? Not necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
that's where I was getting at. And that's why I always go back to like when these lists get out of control and it's like, no, like I'm not going to let an injured, phenomenal player fall off a cliff because they didn't like I said, the NBA got better. A lot more injuries happened. A lot more careers got detoured, but I'm not going to disacknowledge greatness that I saw with my own eyes. And I feel like that type of rhetoric is only reserved for college.
Interesting. So your resume and it's kind of integrated in there, but I'll think about that and your skill and kind of part of the video might be encapsulated there, but it's, but when you start looking at things like you don't have to make it like super, nerdy or accounting wise, but it just helps ground you into like, hey, like that, this helps bridge the analytic and eye test like we talk about. It's like, don't get into those fancy formulas. Like I got these ideas. It's like, hey, how many 2s did you take? What percentage? 3s, your percentage. Free throws, percentage. Because what we were looking at one night, I was like, yo, look at LeBron shooting. Why did LeBron look at LeBron and Larry Bird? It's like, oh, what did LeBron do? He got to the line twice as much. But if you watch the game, you knew that.